First and foremost, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Akakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders that do rule by that great millstone. Peace and salutation to the sincere Akim Mother pushing his gospel in sincerity and truth. Say shalom to the humble and sincere sisters out there as well. This lesson will be entitled Thine Enemies. Right, this will be a two-part lesson, and the first part I'll be touching mainly on our main enemy, which is the so-called white man. Right, the Edomites, that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of, right? And this is no new thing, and this is common sense to see the difference between the so-called white man and the so-called black man, the opposition, the rivalry, and the hatred that these two peoples have for each other. You know what? I should scratch that. See that our people look to the so-called white man as their god, right? The Edomites, with their perpetual hatred towards their brother nation Jacob. You understand? This is nothing out of the ordinary, seeing that they were the ones that led us into slavery and have oppressed us forevermore till this day. And not only the so-called blacks, but the Latinos and the Hispanics, the natives as well. You understand? Seeing that we are at the bottom of their society, right? Their government, their system created for them to constantly be on top, and for us to continue to fight to reach the middle class, right? This is the way their society has it. The way that they teach in schools that our history begins in slavery. And when they teach about themselves, they speak about the so-called Alexander the Great and the great powerful Roman Empire, you understand, and then Great Britain and all the European countries and the Spartans and all this history and all this mythology that the so-called white man was the greatest nation and the greatest warriors on the planet were white, and that the chosen people are the Lord white, and that God and his son white, and all the hosts of heaven white, and everything pure is white. You understand? The white man. There's a reason for all of this, and our people are depicted as being ugly, as being hoodlums and hooligans, you understand, and bandits, and nothing good could come from our people. We are stupid, we are uncivilized, we have no understanding, do you understand? All this hatred and all this, the so-called white man is the main enemy. You understand? He is the main enemy of our people on all levels. All the physical harm that he had done to us, and especially the mental, spiritual destruction that he has caused to befall our people in his Christian churches, in his philosophies, in his alphabet community, in his feminism, and all other manner of wickedness that he has caused our people to indulge in. He didn't do it because he loves Israel. He did it for their further destruction. You understand? We now get into the video. I'll go to the book of Psalms chapter 83 verse 1, because the Lord, you understand, the scriptures show us here who are the enemies of the Most High and the enemies of the Israelites. Psalms 83 verse 1, it says, Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. So these are the enemies of the Lord, the enemies of his people. Right? Verse 4, they have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And this has happened in history. Right? This has happened in history. Many, a couple of times, the destruction of our temple, the destruction of Israel. Right? Even when we had to flee, the Roman persecution in 70 AD, and also the fact of the transatlantic slave trade. Right? Let us cut them off from being a nation is exactly what the so-called white man did. That is why you people out here saying that you all are Orisha Baptists, and that you stem back from the gods of Africa and all manner of dotishness that you are ancient Kemet, that you are Ethiopian. You understand? Calling yourself Hamites, African Americans and Trinidadians, and you're proud to be Trinidadian, you're proud to be black, and all these things is because these nations have cut you off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. A lot of you people, when you hear Israel, you hear Israelite. You don't even know what it means. You don't even know what it's talking about. You have never heard of that before. You understand? The Bible is foreign to a lot of you jakes. You don't know who you are. You don't understand your history. And because you don't understand your past, you don't understand your future either. All you understand is that you are the son of a slave. You understand? And that this society will continue to go on forever. So you must try your best and survive to make ends meet. And continue to be a slave and be oppressed forevermore in this kingdom. You understand? Be proud to be black. And the garbage music our people make, and the garbage movies and series, and the way our people are portrayed, be proud of that garbage. Be proud of Martin Luther King. Be proud of Malcolm X and all these sellouts that did nothing for people, but brought them, carried them deeper down into delusion and destruction. You have no understanding. Verse 5 says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they have confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have fallen upon the children of Lot, Selah. So these are the enemies of the Lord and of the Israelites. All these heathen nations are your enemies. You understand? Every single one of these Gentile nations are your enemies. They hate you. They call you nigger. They call you all manner of bywords. You understand? They despise you. They hate your company. They hate to see you on top. They hate to be under you. They see any Jake in a certain position, they refuse to believe that he worked for it. You understand? They despise our people. And that is one perspective. The other perspective is these people ain't gonna come out and say you are an Israelite descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you are the Lord's chosen people. They ain't gonna tell you that bullshit. You understand? So like they ain't gonna tell you that. They rather tell you about LGBT and feminism and all these things. They rather tell you that bullshit. Those dumbass philosophies, you understand? That is the thing they rather come wrong you with. Right? And party and fet and lime and we soldiers and keep you lost and confused in this world. They will never come up with the truth. Because they themselves, some of them, majority of them don't even know what's going on in the earth right now. Have no understanding of anything whatsoever. These people are your enemies. They do not know what's best for you. What good could come from walking in the midst of Edomites? What could you possibly learn? The only thing you could learn is how to be a devil, how to be evil. You understand? That's all you could learn from the so-called white man. In Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no rest, no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Jump to verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt, into bondage again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. What is this talking about? This is talking about the transatlantic slave trade, to where the Israelites were sold into bondage again by way of ships, cargo slave ships, right? From West South Africa, right? Across the seas to reach the Americas and the Caribbean islands and wherever it is they landed, and they were sold unto whom? Their enemies. Who were the slave masters? Who were the overseers? Right? The ones that owned the plantations, the ones that were transporting you to and fro, the ones that beat you, that killed you, killed your children, killed your parents, raped your wife and your sister, the ones that fed your babies to alligators, the ones that broke the strong men of your nation, the ones that had you all laying down at the bottom of the ship, surrounded in shit and piss and vomit. You understand? The ones that threw over your own people that had any little sickness or any little weakness, to the point where sharks began to follow the path that the slave ships took. You understand? Because of all the bloodshed that took place. Who were the people that did these things? Who were the ones that forced Christianity upon you and have our people believe in this day that Yahweh is a so-called white man? But you don't even know the name of the Father, that God is white, and Jesus, which is the Son of the Lord, is white. And they have a white Jesus hung up in their house. And they look at it and they serve it. Who is the people that did this unto us? The enemies that our Lord sold us to. You understand? These are the people that did it unto us. The book of Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Say, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, right, the Edomites, and prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right? Thou hast had what? A perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. Right? Because what you people fail to realize. I read it today, Genesis 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb. So 2 nations was in the womb of Rebekah. Yes, they were brothers in flesh, but they were 2 nations. It said 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So the elder would serve the younger. Right? So it's 2 nations, 2 manner of people will be separated. Verse 24, when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Right? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So Esau came out red. Look at how these Edomite babies come out when they are born. They come out red. You understand? If you hit a Edomite too hard, they get red. When they blush, their skin, their cheeks turn red. You understand? They are not white. If you place a sheet of paper next to them, they are not white. They are red. You understand? Esau, the father of these Edomites, the so-called white man, he was red. That is the reasoning for their skin complexion. They have no melanin in their skin. That is why they look like that. That is why he came out red. They lack melanin in their skin. They lack pigment. Some of them lack pigment in their eyes. That's why they have blue eyes and gray eyes. And they lack pigment in their hair. That is why their hair is, some of them hair blonde. Right? Two manner of people. And it's saying here that Esau, right, this one nation, has had a perpetual hatred with his brother nation Israel. You understand? When we came out of the land of Egypt, you understand? And our people were tired. Right? The young, the old, we all were tired. Guess who we were ambushed by? Amalek. You understand? Edomites. So you see, nothing new. These people been hated us from the very beginning. From the very beginning, they've been hated us. The book of the prayer of Ezra, verse 8. It says, wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. Thou hast done in true judgment, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of Yahweh, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. He delivered us into the hands of whom? Lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of Yahweh. You understand? These are the people that the Lord has delivered us, delivered us into their hands for our transgressions. He sold us unto our enemies, that Esau has had a perpetual hatred towards Jacob. You understand? These people do not want nothing good to fall upon our people. Right? Look at the Native Americans. They were the ones that were here first, yet they are living in the reservations. Look at the so-called blacks. They are the ones that helped build America. They're free labor, and they built America, and they live in the ghettos and the slums. Why do you think that is? They're the so-called blacks put the whites into slavery. Did the Native Americans colonize the land of the Edomites? No. It was Esau that dealt treacherously with our brothers, with the northern kingdom, and dealt treacherously with the Jakes, the southern kingdom. You understand? The southern Jakes. You understand? These people are our enemies. I'll bring out one last precept. Sirach 33, verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So don't think you could mingle in with these people. They are the ungodly. Edomites are the border of wickedness, as the book of Malachi states. They are evil. The scriptures say, be not conformed to this world. Why? Because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And who rules the earth today? The so-called white man. So they are the ones, they are the wicked. You understand? They and all these other heathen nations. You understand? So hey, with that, hope this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Shalom.